My dear friends, let us begin with a story, your story, though you may not yet recognize it. It is the story of a traveler walking through a landscape that is at once beautiful and treacherous. Along the way, there are storms, great chasms, and mountains so tall they seem insurmountable. And yet this traveler moves forward, not because the path is easy, but because the path is. Life, you see, does not conspire against us. It conspires for us. But this truth is often hidden behind the veil of difficulty. When we encounter adversity, we call it misfortune. When we fall, we call it failure. But is it? Or is it simply life reminding us of our own capacity to rise? Think of the seed buried in the soil. It could curse the darkness and the weight of the earth above it. Or it could do what seeds do, push upward against all odds and break through to the light. The challenges you face are no different. They are not barriers, but invitations. Invitations to grow, to discover, and to remember that your strength does not lie in avoiding the storms, but in dancing through them. Now, some may say, but what if I fail? What if I try and fall again and again? But do you not see? Falling is not the opposite of progress, it is progress. The river does not stop when it meets a rock, it flows around it, finding new paths. And here is the paradox: the moment you stop fighting life, life begins to carry you. When you stop resisting the odds, they cease to be your enemy. What if I told you that even your setbacks are sacred? That they are threads in a pattern you cannot yet see? The heartbreak, the loss, the moments of despair, they are not detours. They are the road itself. So the next time you stand before what seems impossible, remember this: the odds are not against you. They are simply the backdrop for your triumph. And when you rise, as you surely will, you will not say, "I defeated the odds." You will say, "I discovered they were never real to begin with." For in truth, there is no against, there is only being. And being is enough. Now, take a deep breath. Look at the mountain before you and begin. Not with fear, not with resistance, but with the quiet knowing that you were made for this moment. Against all odds, you are here. And that, my friends, is the greatest triumph of all. Life is a journey defined by its challenges, a reality that shapes who we are and how we grow. Challenges are often seen as barriers, obstacles designed to hinder progress or diminish our sense of purpose. Yet this perspective overlooks a fundamental truth: challenges are not enemies. They are opportunities, gifts wrapped in discomfort, waiting to reveal the strength and resilience hidden within us. It is through these obstacles that we evolve, gaining wisdom, confidence, and the ability to navigate life's unpredictability. From the moment we are born, we are thrust into a world of challenges. Learning to walk, to speak, to connect with others, all these early struggles form the foundation of who we are. Overcoming these initial difficulties is something we take for granted as adults, but they hold the same lesson as the more complex obstacles we face later in life. Growth requires effort, discomfort, and persistence. The process of facing adversity is the process of life itself. Consider the story of a river flowing downstream. As it encounters rocks and barriers, it doesn't stop or turn back. Instead, it adjusts, finding new pathways, reshaping itself to adapt to the terrain. Life's challenges operate in much the same way. They force us to question our assumptions, rethink our strategies, and become more flexible in our approach. Each obstacle we overcome teaches us something invaluable, not just about the world, but about ourselves. But why, you might ask, does life present us with these challenges in the first place? Why can't the path be smooth, free of hardships and setbacks? The answer lies in the nature of growth itself. Without friction, a seed cannot break through the soil and grow into a towering tree. Without resistance, a caterpillar cannot emerge from its cocoon as a butterfly. Challenges are the universe's way of calling us to evolve, to shed old limitations and discover new capacities. Yet it's easy to see challenges as unfair. When we face setbacks, failures, or hardships, we often feel singled out by fate, as though life has turned against us. But what if we've misunderstood the role of adversity? What if challenges are not signs of misfortune, but invitations to transformation? This shift in perspective is crucial. The obstacles you face are not random acts of cruelty. They are milestones in your personal journey, guiding you toward greater understanding and strength. This perspective is particularly important in a world that values success, productivity, and perfection. We are conditioned to see failure as a negative outcome, something to be avoided at all costs. But in truth, failure is a teacher. Every time we stumble, we are presented with an opportunity to learn about what doesn't work, about our own resilience, and about the deeper resources of strength we carry within us. Failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary step on the path to achievement. In the context of our fast-paced, results-driven world, it's tempting to look for shortcuts or ways to bypass difficulties. But the truth is, there are no shortcuts to growth. The challenges we face are not there to be avoided, they are there to be embraced. They are the raw materials from which we build our character, shaping us into the person we are meant to become. Each obstacle we overcome becomes a stepping stone, a testament to our ability to persevere, adapt, and thrive. It's also worth noting that challenges often reveal the interconnected nature of life. What might seem like an isolated setback often connects to a larger purpose or leads to unexpected opportunities. For instance, losing a job might initially feel like a devastating blow, but it could also open the door to a new career path, one that aligns more closely with your passions and values. Life's challenges are rarely as straightforward as they appear. They are part of a larger tapestry, a story that only becomes clear with time. In facing these obstacles, it's important to cultivate a mindset of acceptance and curiosity. Resistance only amplifies the struggle, creating unnecessary suffering. When we accept challenges as part of life's natural flow, we find that they lose much of their power to intimidate us. Instead, they become puzzles to solve, opportunities to grow, and adventures to embrace. Ultimately, challenges are not the end of the road, they are the road itself. They are the essence of what it means to be alive, to strive, and to grow. When we stop seeing them as barriers and start recognizing them as opportunities, we unlock a deeper understanding of life's purpose. Each challenge, no matter how daunting, carries within it the potential for transformation, reminding us that we are stronger, wiser, and more capable than we often realize. The concept of failure is something that weighs heavily on many of us. Society often teaches us to view failure as the end of the road, a final verdict on our abilities and worth. But this perspective is deeply flawed. Failure is not an ultimate defeat, it is an essential step in the journey of growth and success. What we call failure is often an illusion, a narrow way of interpreting a moment of difficulty or a setback. In reality, it is through these so-called failures that some of the greatest breakthroughs, both personal and collective, have emerged. Think about some of the most iconic figures in history. Many of them endured repeated failures before achieving their successes. Thomas Edison famously remarked that he did not fail while inventing the light bulb, but instead discovered thousands of ways that didn't work. Each failure brought him closer to his eventual success. The same is true for countless others in various fields: science, art, sports, and even everyday life. These stories remind us that failure is not the opposite of success, but a vital part of it. Failure often carries a stigma, especially in a society that glorifies instant results and perfection. People fear being judged or ridiculed for their mistakes, so they play it safe, avoiding risks that might lead to failure. Yet this avoidance robs us of the chance to grow. It is in the moments when things don't go as planned that we learn the most. Failure provides a unique kind of education, one that no textbook or mentor can replicate. It shows us our weaknesses, our blind spots, and our untapped potential. Moreover, failure forces us to adapt. When a plan doesn't work, we are compelled to think creatively, to explore new strategies and approaches. This process of adaptation often leads to innovation. Some of the world's greatest inventions and ideas were born out of failure. When one path is blocked, another opens, often leading to outcomes that are even better than what we initially envisioned. What seemed like a setback becomes a stepping stone to something greater. Failure also reveals the depth of our resilience. When we face adversity and push through it, we discover strength we didn't know we had. Each time we rise after falling, we build confidence in our ability to handle challenges. This confidence becomes a foundation for future success, enabling us to take on even greater risks and pursue our dreams with courage. It's important to shift how we define and perceive failure. Instead of seeing it as a reflection of our inadequacy, we can view it as a natural part of life's process. Just as a child falls countless times before learning to walk, we too must embrace the falls as part of our journey. Failure is not the end, it's a beginning, a chance to learn, grow, and emerge stronger. What appears as failure in the moment is often a stepping stone to success. The power of surrender is a concept often misunderstood. In a world that glorifies relentless effort and constant striving, surrender can seem like a sign of weakness, an act of giving up. But true surrender is far from defeat. It is an act of profound strength, a conscious decision to align with the natural flow of life rather than fighting against it. By surrendering to the present moment, we unlock a power within ourselves that transforms challenges into opportunities and chaos into clarity. Life, by its very nature, is unpredictable. Despite our best efforts to control every aspect of our journey, there will always be moments when things don't go as planned. These are the times when resistance arises, when we push, pull, and struggle against circumstances that feel unfair or overwhelming. Yet resistance only amplifies the struggle. The more we fight against reality, the more energy we lose, and the more trapped we feel in frustration and despair. Surrender does not mean resignation or passivity. It is not about giving up on your dreams or abandoning your goals. Instead, surrender means accepting what is in this moment without judgment or resistance. It is a state of openness, a willingness to flow with life rather than against it. When you surrender, you let go of the need to control outcomes and trust that life has its rhythm, one that often leads to outcomes far greater than you could have imagined. This act of surrender can be transformative, especially in the face of challenges. Imagine a river encountering a boulder in its path. The river doesn't try to push the boulder out of the way. It doesn't resist or complain. Instead, it flows around it, finding a new path while continuing its journey. In surrendering to the obstacle, the river doesn't lose its strength, it redirects it. Similarly, when we surrender to life's challenges, we discover new ways forward, paths we might not have seen if we were too focused on resisting. Surrender also brings clarity. When we stop resisting, we create space to see situations as they truly are, rather than how we wish they were. This clarity allows us to make better decisions, to act from a place of calm and wisdom rather than fear and frustration. In surrender, we connect with the present moment, where our true power lies. We stop being consumed by what went wrong in the past or what might happen in the future. Instead, we focus on what we can do now, and that focus is where transformation begins. Surrender is also deeply empowering because it reminds us of our connection to something greater than ourselves. When we stop trying to control everything, we open ourselves to the natural flow of life, the same flow that moves the tides, grows the trees, and keeps the stars in the sky. This realization brings a profound sense of peace and trust. We begin to see that even the challenges we face are part of a larger design, one that ultimately works in our favor. The power of surrender lies in its ability to turn resistance into resilience. It helps us navigate life's challenges with grace and strength, not by overpowering them, but by flowing with them. Resilience is one of the most profound qualities a person can cultivate. It is the quiet, unshakable force that enables us to rise after we fall, to continue forward, even when the odds seem insurmountable. Resilience is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to endure, adapt, and thrive despite it. In a world filled with challenges, setbacks, and uncertainty, resilience is what transforms adversity into an opportunity for growth. Life is unpredictable, often presenting us with situations we cannot control. Loss, failure, and hardship are inevitable parts of the human experience. Yet resilience allows us to navigate these challenges without losing our sense of self or direction. It is not about denying pain or difficulty, but about facing them head-on with courage and determination. Resilience is built on the understanding that adversity is not the end of the story, but a pivotal chapter in a much larger narrative. At the heart of resilience is adaptability. Life rarely goes according to plan, and it is in these moments of uncertainty that we are called to adjust. Adaptability does not mean compromising your goals or giving up on your dreams. Instead, it means finding new ways to pursue them when the original path is blocked. Resilience allows us to see challenges as opportunities to innovate and grow, to discover solutions we might never have considered otherwise. Resilience is also deeply rooted in mindset. A positive outlook doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties of life, but choosing to focus on the possibilities within them. It's about reframing challenges as opportunities to learn, evolve, and strengthen. When we approach adversity with this mindset, we begin to see that every setback carries a hidden gift, a lesson, a new perspective, or even an unexpected opportunity. Resilience shifts our focus from what we've lost to what we can gain. Another essential component of resilience is emotional strength. Life's challenges can stir up feelings of fear, frustration, and despair, but resilience teaches us to sit with these emotions without being overwhelmed by them. It's about finding balance, allowing ourselves to feel deeply, while staying grounded in the knowledge that we have the strength to move forward. Emotional resilience helps us process pain and disappointment without letting them define us, empowering us to take the next step, even when the path ahead is unclear. Resilience also thrives on connection. Building strong relationships with others provides a support system that can make all the difference during difficult times. Whether it's family, friends, or a community, the bonds we share with others remind us that we are not alone in our struggles. This sense of connection bolsters our inner strength, giving us the courage to face challenges with renewed energy and hope. Ultimately, resilience is a skill that can be cultivated through practice. Each time we face adversity and choose to persevere, we strengthen this inner quality. It grows not in moments of ease, but in the face of difficulty, shaping us into individuals capable of overcoming life's trials. Resilience is the foundation of triumph against all odds, reminding us that even in the darkest moments, we have the power to rise. Success is often perceived as the final destination, a moment when everything aligns perfectly and we can finally rest in the glory of our achievements. But in truth, success is a journey, not a destination. It's the ongoing process of growth, effort, and evolution. Success is not defined by a single event or a set outcome. It is the accumulation of small victories, setbacks, and lessons learned along the way. Embracing this view of success changes how we approach life and what we expect from it. Most people focus on external markers of success, wealth, fame, recognition, or social status. While these things can be important, they often don't lead to true fulfillment. Real success lies in personal growth, resilience, and the ability to find meaning and purpose in what we do. True success isn't about chasing a particular image or label, it's about aligning with our own values, passions, and inner drive. It's about becoming the best version of ourselves, not for the approval of others, but for our own sense of satisfaction and joy. One of the key elements of this journey is the commitment to continual learning. Success isn't about reaching a point where we know it all or have it all figured out. It's about remaining open, curious, and willing to grow. Every experience, whether positive or negative, offers an opportunity to learn. When we approach life with a mindset of growth, we begin to see every challenge as a lesson rather than an obstacle. This mindset allows us to keep moving forward, even when things don't go as planned. It's the ability to embrace failure as part of the learning process that propels us toward real success. Another important aspect of success is persistence. It's easy to give up when things don't seem to be going our way, when obstacles arise, or when we feel like we're not making progress. But true success often comes to those who refuse to quit, even when the road is tough. Persistence is the ability to keep going despite setbacks, to keep pushing forward even when results aren't immediate. It's in those moments of persistence that breakthroughs happen. Success is built on the foundation of never giving up and learning to keep moving forward, no matter how challenging the journey becomes. Success also requires balance. In our pursuit of goals and dreams, it's easy to become consumed by ambition, losing sight of the things that truly matter. Success isn't just about achieving goals, it's about enjoying the process, cherishing the small moments, and taking care of ourselves along the way. Balancing work, relationships, health, and personal time ensures that success doesn't come at the cost of our well-being. When we can find this equilibrium, we begin to experience success in all areas of life, not just in one dimension. Furthermore, a key to success is the ability to adapt and pivot. The world is constantly changing, and what worked yesterday might not work today. Success requires flexibility, the willingness to adjust our approach when necessary. It's about being open to new ideas, staying curious, and being willing to change course when we encounter new information or face unexpected circumstances. Adaptability allows us to navigate the unpredictable nature of life with grace, making it one of the most valuable tools on the path to success. Finally, success involves understanding that it is not a linear journey. There will be ups and downs, moments of triumph, and periods of struggle. But every step, whether it feels like progress or a setback, contributes to the larger picture. Success is about embracing the entirety of the journey, knowing that each experience adds something valuable to the process. It's the ability to keep moving forward, even when the end goal is unclear, and trusting that in time we will look back and see that every moment was part of the process of becoming who we were always meant to be. In this light, success becomes a never-ending journey of self-discovery, growth, and evolution. It's not a destination that can be reached and then left behind. It is an ongoing process that requires continuous effort, learning, and adaptation. When we shift our understanding of success to embrace this ongoing journey, we open ourselves up to a life filled with meaning, fulfillment, and the joy of becoming. Overcoming fear is one of the most transformative actions we can take in our lives. Fear, in many forms, has the potential to paralyze us, limit our possibilities, and keep us from achieving our full potential. It is a natural human emotion, one that has served as a protective mechanism throughout history. However, in the modern world, fear can often become a barrier rather than a shield, holding us back from taking the necessary steps to reach our goals and dreams. The real challenge lies in not allowing fear to control us, but instead using it as a catalyst for growth and change. Fear tends to grow in the presence of the unknown. Whether it's the fear of failure, rejection, or the uncertainty of what lies ahead, we often create stories in our minds that exaggerate the worst-case scenario. These imagined stories can feel real and can deeply affect our decision-making process. Yet, when we face our fears directly, we often discover that the reality is far less intimidating than the fear itself. Overcoming fear begins with the simple act of recognizing it for what it is, an emotion, not a fact. One of the most powerful ways to overcome fear is to take small, deliberate steps forward, even when we are afraid. Action, even in small doses, breaks the cycle of fear and creates momentum. When we push through the discomfort and face what scares us, we gain a sense of control and accomplishment. Each step, no matter how small, reinforces the idea that we are capable of handling more than we think. This gradual approach reduces the overwhelming nature of fear and transforms it into something manageable. Another key aspect of overcoming fear is reframing our mindset. Often we see fear as something to avoid, something that must be eliminated, but fear can also serve as a guide, signaling that we are pushing beyond our comfort zones and entering new territory. Reframing fear as an opportunity for growth, rather than a threat, allows us to embrace it. This shift in perspective transforms the way we approach challenges. Instead of shrinking away from fear, we learn to lean into it, recognizing that it is a sign that we are on the verge of something significant. Fear also thrives on avoidance. When we run from our fears, we only give them more power. However, by confronting our fears head-on, we take away their ability to control us. This doesn't mean that fear disappears altogether. It simply means that we stop allowing it to dictate our actions. The more we face our fears, the less control they have over us. We begin to realize that we are not defined by the things we are afraid of, and that, in fact, our fears are often not as formidable as they seem. Understanding that fear is a shared human experience is another important aspect of overcoming it. We all have fears, and it is something we will continue to encounter throughout our lives. Knowing that fear is a natural part of being human helps us feel less isolated in our struggles. When we acknowledge that everyone experiences fear, it becomes easier to accept it as part of the journey rather than a roadblock. We learn that fear does not have to be a barrier, but rather an indication that we are growing, evolving, and stepping into new experiences. Finally, a crucial step in overcoming fear is trust. Trusting ourselves and our ability to navigate difficult situations is essential. It is the belief that no matter what happens, we have the resources, strength, and resilience to handle whatever comes our way. This trust comes from experience, from facing our fears in the past and realizing that we survived. It is this trust that gives us the courage to continue moving forward, even when the future is uncertain. Overcoming fear is not about eliminating it entirely. It is about learning to live alongside it without letting it hold us back. By taking action, reframing our perspective, and trusting in ourselves, we can transform fear from a hindrance into a stepping stone toward a fuller, more courageous life. The key lies in recognizing that fear, in its many forms, is not the enemy, it's the path to personal growth and true freedom.